Buyers remain patient but act immediately. Yes, San Antonio buyers, I am talking to you. I am a real estate agent with Remax North here in the great city of San Antonio, and I'd like to welcome you to my podcast called Bear With Me. Each week, we talk about real estate related topics for both buyers and sellers, and we also throw in a few topics related to Bexar County and the state of Texas. It is a seller's market out there, and so many buyers are beginning to hunt for those quality homes. Every weekend, I see how busy it is, so I thought I would share with you the most common house hunting mistakes that buyers are making. If you are thinking of going house hunting in the near future, you're not going to want to miss this episode. Stay tuned. So, working in the real estate industry, we see that buying a home is a very emotional process. If you allow these emotions to get the best of you, you may fall prey to a number of common home buyer mistakes. It's important to keep your emotions in check and make the most rational decision possible. Your aim is to end up with a home you love at a price you can afford. But unfortunately, many people do things that prevent them from achieving that dream. Let's look at some of the top house hunting mistakes people make, and let's discuss how to find your home the right way. So, a house hunting mistake that I see is buyers are not knowing what they can afford. Look, once you've fallen in love with a particular home, it's really hard to go back. You start dreaming about how great your life would be if you had all these wonderful things it offered, like a lovely tree lined streets, or maybe a huge backyard, or maybe that jetted bathtub, maybe a spacious kitchen with granite countertops and stainless steel appliances. Look, if you can't or maybe you won't be able to afford that house, you're just hurting yourself by imagining yourself in it. So, to avoid temptation, it's better to restrict your home shopping to properties in your financial neighborhood. If you end up looking at places that are outside of your price range, basically you're ending up lusting over something that you can't even afford. That can put you in a very dangerous position to try to stretch beyond your means financially, or it's going to cause you to feel very unsatisfied on what you actually can buy. So start your search at the end of your price range, the low end, and if you find that that satisfies you, then there's no need to go higher. So another house hunting mistake is not shopping around. While you should be realistic in your search and willing to compromise to some degree, don't cave in on all the important things. For example, don't get a two-bedroom home if you are planning on having kids and you really wanted a three-bedroom. By the same thought, don't buy a condo just because it's cheaper than a house if one of the main reasons you're over the apartment life is that you hate sharing walls with your neighbors. It's true that you're probably going to have to make some compromises to be able to afford your first home, but don't make a compromise that's going to be a major strain on you and your family. Unless you are a high end buyer looking at custom homes, chances are that any home that you find that you probably like, there's quite a few others just like it or close to it. Most neighborhoods have multiple homes that are similar in the same model because they've been constructed by the same builder. So even if you can't find that identical home for sale that you're looking for, you can probably find a home with many of the same features. So another common house hunting mistake is not using an agent right away. So once you're seriously shopping for a home, don't walk into an open house without having a real estate agent, or at least being prepared to throw out the name of someone you're supposedly working with. Agents are held to an ethical rule that they must act in both the seller and the buyer's best interest. But you can see how it might not put you in the best bargaining position if you start dealing with a seller's agent before contacting one of your own. And please remember, to buyers out there, that an agent is 100% free. The seller at the end of the transaction is the one who pays your buyer's agent. So you can use their expertise to the best of their ability, and you can make sure that on the biggest transaction of your life that you are protected. So usually when I'm taking younger first-time home buyers out there, they usually lack something called vision. Sometimes a home buyer can feel a little bit like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, right? This is either too big or this is too small, or distinguishing between what's fixable and what's not is a key part of house hunting. Even if you can't afford to replace those hideous wallpaper in the bathroom right now, it might be worth to live in this ugliness for a while in exchange for getting a house that you can actually afford. Look, if the house otherwise meets your needs in terms of big things that are difficult to change, such as location and size, don't let the physical imperfections turn you away. So, looking for homes whose full potential has not yet been realized, especially if you're on a strict budget, can be exciting. The bump in equity from your upgrades will help you to move up the property ladder. But with that being said, if you're going to buy a house that needs work, don't buy a fixer upper that's more than you can handle in terms of time, money, and your own ability. So, for example, if you think that you can do work yourself, then realize that you can't once you get started. Any repairs or upgrades that you're planning on will probably cost twice as much as once you factor in the labor, and it might not be in your budget. Not to mention the costs involved in fixing anything that you may have started and replacing materials that you've wasted. So, honestly, evaluate your abilities, your budget, and how soon you need to move before purchasing a property that isn't move in ready. So when buyers, especially first-time home buyers, walk into a home, they sometimes will ignore the neighborhood. So don't just focus on the residents, but look at the surrounding area. It's impossible to perfectly predict the future of a neighborhood, but here are some good questions that you can ask your real estate agent when you are looking at a home. So what you want to do is ask, what kind of development plans are in the works for this neighborhood? Is the street likely to become a major street or maybe a popular rush hour shortcut? Is there talk of a bridge or a highway being built very nearby in the next 5 years? Is there a lot of undeveloped land? What is likely to get built there? Have homes in this neighborhood been declining or rising? These are all great questions. And if you're happy with the answer to these questions, then your potential house's location can keep your mind at ease when you're purchasing it. So, a common mistake buyers make is that they drag their feet. It's a tough balancing act to make sure that you make a careful decision, but don't take too long to make it. Especially in a seller's market like we are in San Antonio right now, losing out on a property that you were almost ready to make an offer on because someone beat you to it can be really heartbreaking. I've seen this happen far too often. Look, let's say that you're self employed, right? Perhaps for you more than others, time is money. The more time and energy that you have to put into these normal activities to search for a home, the less time and energy you have to work or to spend time with your family. Not dragging out the home buying process in an unnecessary manner is the best thing for you and for your business. And the continued success of your business will be essential to paying your mortgage, right? So if you don't pull the trigger quickly, someone else might, and then you'll have to keep looking. So don't underestimate how time consuming and routine disrupting a house shopping can be. While it is definitely enjoyable, and a lot of first time homebuyers are super excited to do this because it is a lot of fun, it can be an emotional roller coaster and it can really disrupt your life if you see this home that you love and you just took too long to pull the trigger. So don't drag your feet. So, another common home buying mistake when you're house hunting is you offer too much. If there's a lot of competition in the market like there is right now, and you find a place that you really like, it's all too easy to get sucked into a bidding war or to try to preempt a bidding war by offering a high price in the first place. But there are a couple potential problems with this. First, if the house doesn't appraise at or above the amount you offer, the bank won't give you the loan unless the seller reduces the price or you pay cash for the difference. If this happens, the shortfall on your bid, as opposed to your mortgage, will have to be paid out of pocket by you. Second, when you go to sell the house, if the market conditions are similar or worse, then when you bought it, you will find yourself upside down on the mortgage and unable to sell. So make sure the purchase price of the home you buy is reasonable for both the house and the location by examining comparable sales and getting your agent's opinion before making an offer. So another common home buying mistake when you're house hunting is you offer too much. If there's a lot of competition in the market like there is right now, and you find a place that you really like, it's all too easy to get sucked into a bidding war or to try to preempt a bidding war by offering a high price in the first place. But there are a couple potential problems with this. First, if the house doesn't appraise at or above the amount you offer, the bank won't give you the loan unless the seller reduces the price or you pay cash for the difference. If this happens, the shortfall on your bid, as opposed to your mortgage, will have to be paid out of pocket by you. Second, when you go to sell the house, if the market conditions are similar or worse than when you bought it, you will find yourself upside down on the mortgage and unable to sell. So make sure the purchase price of the home you buy is reasonable for both the house and the location by examining comparable sales and getting your agent's opinion before making an offer. So a common mistake first-time home buyers especially make is they neglect to inspect the home. So you found the perfect place. Your offer was accepted, you're in contract, and it's tempting to think that you're a homeowner for the moment that you go into contract. But hold on. Before you close on the sale, you need to know what kind of shape the house is in. You don't want to get stuck with a money pit or with a headache of performing a lot of unexpected, potentially expensive repairs. That's why you need to set up a thorough inspection of the property in the home. In fact, your mortgage lender might demand it. So, keeping your feelings in check until you have a full picture of the house's physical condition and the soundness of your potential investment will help you avoid making a serious financial mistake. So, when home buyers have been looking for a while and you do not see anything that you like, or worse, you're even getting outbid on homes that you do want, it's easy to get desperate to find your new house now. However, if you move into a residence and you end up hating it, the transaction cost to get rid of it will be costly. You have to pay your agent's commission up to 5 to 6% of the sales price, and you'll have to pay closing costs for the mortgage on your new home. You'll also deal with the hassle and expense of moving yet again. So if you have time on your side, it's okay to wait until something that suits you comes along. As long as your demands are realistic for the budget, you are bound to find something that you can live in. New houses come on the market every single day. In San Antonio, on average, there are 10,000 new listings, at least on a market at any time throughout the month. All right, San Antonio, just to wrap a little bow on this, in short, when it comes to buying a home, be realistic, take your time, don't act on an impulse, and ultimately make a home purchase decision that's good for both your feelings and your finances. You know what they say is don't underestimate your feelings and overestimate your finances. So that is it for the top house hunting mistakes that homebuyers make. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please share it with your friends as we are a young podcast and we're trying to make a big difference in San Antonio. All right, thank you guys for listening and we'll catch you on the next one.